What happens when life throws you a whirlwind of awkward moments, unexpected friendships, and a roller coaster of emotions? Well, stick around, because this story has all that and more, packed with humor, heart, and just the right amount of chaos to keep you hooked.
Please, Marilyn. It's been 17 years.
Let go.
That's the farthest I ever got.
Hey folks, Maya here. Heads up, there are spoilers ahead, so grab your snacks and let's dive into today's story.
The movie starts with Jonathan and a friend driving around the streets of his hometown, discussing Jonathan's virginity. Noticing two girls, Marilyn and Rosalind, the buddy suggests he seduce one of the beauties and finally become a man, focusing on the charming blonde, Marilyn. Jonathan swerves into the oncoming traffic lane, dodging a car. He ends up driving into a hydrant, crushing the front of the car. When he arrives home, Jonathan turns on the music, then, taking a magazine with pictures of naked women, sits down in a chair. The roar of a motorcycle can be heard from the street. Looking out the window, Jonathan notices Eugene, who has just moved into the neighborhood with his father, riding his motorcycle. Eugene pulls out onto the road and gets hit by a car. After making sure Eugene is okay, Bonnie and her boyfriend Kenny go to the girl's parents, who saw the accident and think their new neighbor is a total jerk. Jonathan also saw the collision, so he runs out of the house. He walks up to the garage where Eugene is working on his motorcycle. After getting acquainted, Eugene asks if there is a place in town where he can go to relax. The boy doesn't want to go to school at all because he might get kicked out again, just like in Chicago, where he moved from. At his old school, Eugene was expelled for making love to two schoolgirls. When their parents found out, they complained to the principal, which is why Eugene is now here, leaving Jonathan with a surprised look on his face. The guy concludes that his new acquaintance is still a virgin, but he has a dream girl, Marilyn, who he really likes, except that she doesn't notice him at all. The only entertainment in their town is the fair tonight, to which Jonathan brings Eugene. There, the boys meet Marilyn, Rosalind, and Bonnie, who are selling their kisses. Upon approaching them, Jonathan wins a kiss with Rosalind, and Eugene gets a kiss with Marilyn. Looking at the kissers, Jonathan freaks out, but Eugene, taking more money from the guy, goes to the girls again, winning the kiss with Bonnie this time. The passionate lip contact is noticed by the girls' boyfriends, even though Bonnie is approached by Kenny. The girl still does not take her eyes off Eugene. Going home, Eugene offers to teach some seduction lessons to Jonathan, because if the guy stays a virgin, he'll end up being a nerd. Meeting in the morning, Eugene gives Jonathan a ride to school to seduce Marilyn. Jonathan must always look at the girl every chance he gets, but not staring, but with slightly covered eyes.
You mean like this?
For starters, you have to ditch the jeans that look more like work uniforms. You definitely can't seduce girls in those noticing Marilyn Eugene shows. What pose Jonathan needs to take to impress the girl in
You okay, Jonathan?
Just a cramp.
Jonathan can't take his eyes off Marilyn at the back of the classroom. Eugene drops a pencil on purpose, and when he picks it up, Jonathan manages to look up the girl's skirt. At this time, the teacher asks the boy to repeat what she just said. Jonathan gets up and shows the whole class his reaction to seeing Marilyn's panties. After class, the friends devise a plan to seduce Marilyn. After speeding off on his bike, Jonathan gets distracted, causing him to crash into a parked car that Marilyn is walking next to. Noticing the blood on the guy's face, the girl starts wiping it off with a handkerchief, and Jonathan, unable to stand, it touches Marilyn's chest.
Why did you do that?
I'm sorry. I couldn't see what I was doing.
Sitting in the diner, Jonathan tells the story to Eugene. He, noticing Bonnie, approaches the girl from whom he wonders if she is dating Kenny.
We're not going steady.
At the same time, Rosalind, a part-time waitress at the diner, comes on to Jonathan after talking to Bonnie. Eugene returns to the table where Marilyn approaches them, inquiring about Jonathan's condition, then invites Eugene to an open-air movie theater, giving him her phone number for not saying no to the girl. Eugene makes Jonathan angry with his friend, but the guy assures him that he won't touch Marilyn because he likes Bonnie. Eugene asks Jonathan to ask Bonnie out, and the four of them go to the movies. The couples watch a movie, and at one point, Marilyn grabs Eugene's leg, but then apologetically kisses the guy. Jonathan is furious, but Bonnie kisses him, thinking the guy is worried about the scene in the movie. This is seen by Kenny's friends who have come to see the movie. Eugene and Jonathan go out to get something to eat. Meeting Kenny and his buddies, the guy starts to bully Jonathan, but Eugene, to save his friend, declares that Bonnie came with him wanting to deal with the guy. Kenny challenges Eugene to a car duel. They will have to speed towards each other, and whoever swerves loses the car speed up. But none of the guys are going to lose. At the very last moment, the guys swerve but still collide with the cars. After assessing the damage to his car, Kenny pounces on Eugene. But when he hears the police siren, everyone runs away except our heroes, whose car won't start seeing what Eugene has done to the car. The father punches the guy, which Bonnie, Marilyn, and Jonathan. When Jonathan arrives at school in the morning, he meets Bonnie, who wonders if Eugene is coming to school. The boy stopped by to pick up his friend, but he wasn't home. In the evening, Jonathan throws pebbles through the window of Eugene's room. The boy sticks his head out and chases Jonathan away, but he climbs the wall. Eugene confesses that his father never hit him, which he blames on Jonathan, of course, because it all started because of Bonnie, and Jonathan can't stand up for himself or the girl. They make up after all, and after getting drunk on whiskey, they go for a ride around town on Eugene's motorcycle. The officer looking at the boys lets them both go home. Eugene tells a friend about his father, who does not understand him. After his mother died, his father stopped talking to his son. All he can do is yell at Eugene, and now has started in the morning on the way to school. Jonathan finds an unprecedented commotion at Kenny's clothing store. Upon arriving at the school, Eugene meets Bonnie. The girl wants to know if the boy is okay. She was very worried about him, realizing that she cares about him. Eugene invites Bonnie out for an evening, out to which the girl agrees, kissing the guy. This is seen by Marilyn, who also likes Eugene. After school, Jonathan meets a buddy at the auto shop, where the guy is fixing his father's broken-down car. Jonathan also sees Bonnie kissing Eugene, so he's happy for his friend. When asked what Jonathan is going to do with Marilyn, he decides to drop the idea, since Jonathan is moving to another town to attend college soon anyway, and the girl has never paid any attention to him. After hearing from Eugene that he is a slob, Jonathan goes to the payphone to prove that he is not confident that Marilyn will turn him down. Jonathan calls the girl and asks her out back at Eugene's. Jonathan happily pronounces that the girl has said yes, to which Eugene asks the guy not to screw up, because Jonathan will have to hug the girl and touch her between her legs. Returning from his date, Jonathan kisses Marilyn for the first time, and Eugene goes for a walk with Bonnie. After a while, the couples go to the ranch for a horseback ride. Bonnie and Eugene notice that Marilyn and Jonathan are missing somewhere. At this time, the boy tries to pull his pants off Marilyn, but the girl doesn't want to make love in the car. When Bonnie and Eugene pull up the door and the car opens and Marilyn and Jonathan fall out with the girl's panties in their hand.
Well, what do you expect? It's a Studebaker.
The guy walks Marilyn home where the girl pronounces that Jonathan acted ugly. But it's not that bad. According to Marilyn, her parents are going away for the weekend, which is a signal to the boy. A couple of days later, a bell rings at Jonathan's house. Marilyn invites the guy over for a visit. After getting dressed up, Jonathan sets out for his adult life, bringing him to his room. Marilyn recalls the day in the car when the girl was very horny, taking 2 unbuttoning clothes on the guy. After a hectic minute of sex, the couple hears a car pulling up to the house. Marilyn's mother has forgotten the pills for which the girl's father enters the house. Jonathan jumps out the window, meeting Marilyn's mother.
Hi, Mrs. McCauley. Bye, Mrs. McCauley.
As darkness falls, Eugene, those to Bonnie's house, after noticing Kenny with a bouquet of flowers for the girl, and the way Bonnie's parents greet him. Eugene leaves, throwing away his flower in the morning at school. The boy makes a jealous scene. Kenny was invited by the girl's parents, not Bonnie, which the girl tells him. But the guy still resents Bonnie because Kenny is always hanging around her, and she has no way of blowing him off. Eugene meets Jonathan in the evening, who tells his friend that Marilyn invited the guy to meet her herself. Though now he thinks there is nothing special about her at this time. A car pulls up next to them with Kenny and his buddies in it. They purposely talk loudly about Kenny having a rough night with Bonnie so that Eugene can hear everything as they walk up to them. The guy knocks the cocktails over on Kenny and a fight ensues. Kenny and his buddies start beating Eugene, and when Jonathan interferes, he gets her to the owner of the cafe, starts the fight by shooting a shotgun into the air. On returning home, Eugene meets his father, who throws the boy out of the house, not even willing to listen to his son. The guy disappears, causing Kenny to start harassing Jonathan again in the dining room. Marilyn sits down with the boy, informing him that one of Kenny's friends has invited her out of town for the weekend, who has also invited the girl to prom night. Realizing that Marilyn is not at all what he dreamed of, Jonathan sends the girl away. It's time for prom night.
Jonathan is bored at the cafe where Eugene unexpectedly arrives. The guy wants to meet Bonnie, so they head to the school for prom night. Finding Bonnie there, dancing with Kenny, noticing Eugene leaving, Bonnie rushes after him but doesn't make it in time. Sitting by the river, Eugene confesses that he is leaving town tomorrow and regrets that he never made up with Bonnie, and Jonathan regrets the time he spent with Marilyn and vows that he will never look at another girl again for the rest of his life. Noticing that Eugene is asleep, Jonathan takes his motorcycle and rushes into town to get Bonnie, bringing her to his best friend. After talking, the couple decides to leave together to make Bonnie's parents not worry. The girl asks Jonathan to tell them everything. After giving the message to Bonnie's father, Jonathan goes to a cafe. Meeting Kenny there, he threatens to kill Eugene as soon as he meets him. Enraged, Jonathan gets into his car and accelerates and crashes into Kenny's car. After that, he drives around the other side of the car and crashes into it again, jumping into his car. Kenny tries to get away from Jonathan but is run by him, which causes Kenny to crash into a fire hydrant. Driving up to the diner where Rosalind works, Jonathan asks the girl out. This is the end of the movie. So that's it. If you enjoyed this movie, share your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to check out the recommended movie on your screen right now. Watch it and join Mahi's movie recaps.